I live at 308 Negra Arroyo Lane, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Skylar, you are the love of my life. I hope you know that. Walter Jr., you're my big man. I want you to know that no matter how it may look, I only had you in my heart.
Breaking Bad, the first season, it starts to Walter White, a 50-year-old high school chemistry teacher facing a midlife crisis, finds out he has stage 3, inoperable lung cancer.
Lung cancer? Inoperable?
He keeps the news a secret from his pregnant wife, Skylar, and their teenage son, Walter Jr. Walt rides along with his brother-in-law, DEA agent Hank Schrader, on a raid of a methamphetamine lab, in which they catch a cook dealer named Emilio. Walt sees his former student-turned-meth cook dealer, Jesse Pinkman, escape from the raid. Walt realizes he can use his knowledge of chemistry to cook meth and make enough to support his family after he dies. He enlists Jesse's help, and they begin cooking in a remote area of the desert in an RV they buy. The pair create a pure, unadulterated form of crystal meth.
This is pure glass. You're a goddamn artist. This is art. Try this.
No. We only sell it. We don't use it.
Jesse tries to sell the meth they made, and one of the dealers is his ex-partner Emilio, who forces Jesse to show them the lab. Emilio recognizes Walt from the D-raid and knocks Jesse unconscious for betraying him. Under the guise of teaching them his recipe, Walt poisons them with phosphine gas, knowing the dealers intend to kill them. Walt and Jesse try to dispose of the 2 bodies in the RV, which becomes increasingly complicated when one of them, Crazy 8, wakes up and escapes. Walt finds him barely conscious walking along the street and puts him in his car. They eventually imprison him in Jesse's basement. Meanwhile, Skylar grows suspicious of Walt's recent behavior. She asks him about Jesse, and Walt covers by telling her that Jesse sells him marijuana. Skylar visits Jesse and threatens to call Hank if Jesse contacts Walt about marijuana again. Jesse disposes of Emilio's body using hydrofluoric acid as Walt instructs, but he ignores Walt's warning to use a plastic bin and uses his bathtub instead, resulting in a heavy cleanup when the acid leaks through the floor below. 2 children playing in the desert area where the RV had been find a gas mask that Walt and Jesse left there. Skylar's sister, Marie, believes that Walter Jr. is smoking marijuana and asks Hank to scare him straight. Hank takes Walt Jr. to a drug house to teach him about gateway drugs. Walt and Jesse clean up the remains of Emilio. Walt is torn between whether to keep Crazy 8 alive or kill him. While bringing Crazy 8 food, he collapses while descending the stairs. Upon waking up, Walt tells Crazy 8 that he has lung cancer, the first person he tells, and they start sharing the unexpected things they have in common. Walt decides to release Crazy 8, but while disposing of the shards of a broken plate, he sees that a shard is missing and realizes that Crazy 8 has concealed it to use as a weapon. When Walt confronts Crazy 8 with this information, Crazy 8 attacks him, so Walt strangles and kills him with the bicycle locking string. That night, when Walter gets home, he tells Skylar that he has something to tell her.
There's something I have to tell you.
And off camera, reveals his cancer diagnosis. As Jesse and Walt's meth begins to spread in Albuquerque, Hank starts looking for the new drug kingpin, unaware that it's Walt. At a family barbecue, Walt reveals to Walt Jr., Marie, and Hank that he has cancer. Hank promises Walt that he will always take care of his family. Walt Jr. becomes upset that Walt is acting like everything is normal. Jesse becomes paranoid that law enforcement is after him, and he visits his family's house. Jesse's parents are disappointed and worried to see him in such a state. Jesse finds out that his younger brother, who is very successful in sports and music, is smoking marijuana to deal with the intense pressure from their parents. Jesse covers for him, but is forced to leave his parents' house, as they believe the marijuana is his.
I think I could have it back.
Jesse visits Walt to try and convince him they should continue cooking, but Walt tells him never to try to see him again.
What? I'm just saying.
Don't come back.
Walt and Skylar visit an oncologist who says Walt's cancer is treatable. Skylar is hopeful, but Walt does not think getting treatment is financially feasible. Jesse becomes frustrated that he cannot secure stable employment. Walt and Skylar attend Walt's old friend Elliot's birthday. Skylar tells Elliot about Walt's cancer, and Elliot offers him a job which Walt declines, feeling insulted about an offer of financial help. Jesse attempts to cook meth on his own, but cannot replicate the quality of Walt's product. Walt Jr. gets caught by an undercover cop trying to buy beer, and calls Hank to save him instead of Walt. Walt's family attempts an intervention to persuade him to undergo chemotherapy. Marie says everyone should let Walt make the decision on his own, to Skylar's dismay. The next morning, he relents and tells Skylar he will accept Gretchen and Elliot's assistance. However, he calls Gretchen, who he used to have a relationship with, to tell that it isn't needed, lying that his insurance actually does cover treatment. He goes to Jesse's house and asks to resume their partnership.
Wanna cook?
Walt and Jesse come to an agreement in which Walt will cook the meth while Jesse sells it. Meanwhile, Hank ties a recovered respirator to Walt's high school's chemistry lab and investigates further. Hank falsely arrests the school janitor, who has a criminal record for drug possession. After discovering the start of hair loss, Walt shaves his head. When their initial batch of meth only yields $2,600, Jesse's friend Skinny Pete helps him find the distributor who replaced Crazy 8,
2 nuts in a ball sack, yep.
psychopathic drug lord Tuco Salamanca.
Booyah! Wow!
Where'd you get it? I cooked it. Bullshit.
When Jesse demands upfront payment for the meth, Tuco instead beats him and steals the meth. Walt later confronts Tuco himself and causes an explosion in his hideout.
It's not meth.
Forcing him to pay for the meth, Tuco agrees to further dealings with Walt.
1 pound is not gonna cut it. You have to take 2.
Walt and Jesse face difficulties producing the large amount of meth Walt has promised to Tuco. Walt and Jesse break into a warehouse and steal a large barrel of methylamine, which they need for a new recipe that produces much more meth in much less time. They deliver the promised amount to Tuco and his associates, No Doze and Gonzo. When No Doze makes an offhanded remark to Walt, Tuco becomes enraged and savagely beats him in front of the horrified Walt and Jesse.
Damn, man, look at that, look!
Do you like the video? Please don't forget to click the subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you always updated to the videos we upload. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.